folks, welcome back to another lesson. We are doing Chasen Isbell and the 400 unit Honeysuckle Blue, and this was a request for Matty Wheeler. Matty Wheeler, everyone. Now, there's not a lot to this, but Matty wanted to know or some ideas about how he could solo over it because his band's playing it. So, let's go through the riffs and then I'll give you some ideas of what you can use. In terms of tone, I'm using the unobtainium today. I think it gets really close to this tone on the album and live, actually. So I'm using both sides, clon into dumble. So just pick your favourite overdrive pedal, basically. You know, sort of medium gain. Then we want an A chord, and we're going to play. And that motif is going to repeat. So we have A, then the 4th fret on the G string. And we're going to do a little half step bend, release and pull off. 4th fret on the next string down, and then 2, 4, right, with some rests in between. Then you do a G. Same motif. D. Slightly lazier, right? You hold it, and then a little bit of vibrato. Okay, just shake your hand a little bit, and then back to the A. And there you can just play that, right? I'm just hammering on, playing that 3 times. Now the second time round, there's a couple of little fills which are cool. We're going to do the A again, to the G. The other guitar keeps playing. The other one goes. That's pretty cool. Just as per tab. Then to the D. That time, the guitar doesn't. The first guitar doesn't hold out with the. It actually does the full motif. Second guitar part though plays that little fill. Lovely. So you're sliding up to the 6th fret on the G. I'm playing that 3 times. That 3 times, right? Then you do this slide down. And then you go into the A. You know, you can do any of that. So there's some ideas for solo stuff in there already, right? That's basically A major pentatonic. That's the same notes as the F sharp minor pentatonic. That's the relative minor of A, right? And you find that by getting the 6th note from your root, okay? So if you go through the major scale, that's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's your F sharp, right? And that is. But if you start that on the A, same shape. It's the same notes, right? So you can get away with that. I'll go into that a little bit more detail in a bit, but suffice to say, you already know you can do some. Now that intro part is basically A, G, D, A. Later on, in fact, the outro really, where the second solo comes in, I think Jason's solo comes in at the end. He's playing over A, G, D, A, and then there's like an outro chorus, which is A, G, D, A, okay? But the verse is slightly different. The verse has a bar of E in it as well. And I couldn't tell if it is major or minor for ages, because it's really difficult to hear if they're putting a minor note in, right? But basically, I see them fretting this. All right, and they play that one a bunch of times. One guitar, I think Jason's playing this. It's basically a power chord with another power chord on top of it. So you've got 0, 2, 2, and then 4, 5. The other guitar looks like he's playing 2, 4, 0, 0. Because you see him playing... I think they switch it up and chuck in every third time. It sounds like there's a minor chord there, right? So it goes... And the second time... Third time... off you go, right, solo wise. But it's a tricky one. I would stick with that and play it safe, frankly. So those are all the chordy parts, right? You have an intro section, then you have a verse section, and then an outro section, really, and they're very, very similar. So on to the solo-y bits. So for the first solo, you'll hear... that sort of stuff, right? It's all single note stuff. So he starts on the root. There. Which makes it sound minor. And then sticks on that note for the G, which is the root again. So you can do a bunch of that stuff, right? If you think 0. You can get all that stuff going on. Then he plays... And then when the E, which I'm thinking now is minor, works with either. Does a little bend there on the 3rd fret, right? And then you've got some fairly quick runs. Stuff like that, right? So you have... And then... Just repeating the same thing twice. It's not exactly what's being played there, but it's, you know, it's an idea. Now, I'm not the best at giving advice on soloing, but seeing as you're here, I would stick with one scale type if you can, right? So for the outro, which is just A, G, D, A, that's going to be fine to play your A blues, right? All that stuff, right? But with the E... doesn't kind of work through if you're going to keep playing that over and over again, you'll find that the E makes you want to go somewhere else, right? You know, you can play some notes to sound cool, but that note, you know, it's not really in that scale, it's one down. But check this out, right? So you've got, but then you know this note, so you'll playing, say, an E minor, you could do something with that, right? So you play, right? Because you're getting that. And then back to doing what you were doing. You know, and get bluesy again. So you could cut it up like that and just watch out and just do something a little bit different for the E part. The other thing you can do is learn some chords, right? So basically know your chord shapes as it's going through the progression. So for this one, right? Let's say it's E minor. G. D, which is, I mean, if you're going to be efficient, you could just stay on this 7th fret, right? Or for the A, right? Now, what can you do with that? You can do some noodly bits like that. E minor. Because you know that shape. So find some patterns that work over each of those shapes. Oops, that didn't really, but there we go. And then G. So you could do some stuff like that, which I would encourage you to do. Also, then when you go back to the A. So that in context. That's your like A shape there, right? Okay, so you can kind of hear the chord progression already, right? So you can find some ideas there, but do it all over the neck, right? You can do. There's loads of ways you can play all those different chords, it's like the cage system, right? You'll figure out a bunch of chord shapes you can use. Now, one other idea that I want to leave you with is double stops, right? And I really like these sort of country type double stops, right? And you could do that for this too. So you could have, so, or, yeah, that's part of that chord. So you could take your pick, right? You could play any of those, right, and start to build something musical from there, right? So you'd have all right there, I'm just playing, which is, again, that's an E minor I'm playing there. Then you have the G. Again, that's from that. And then you have the D straight after it. So you can play. And then. Right, so that whole bit would be. You know? So hopefully there's some ideas for you. Hope you enjoyed this one, Matty, and good luck playing it with the band, mate. Cheers.